Welcome back to the Maximum Chillage Podcast, episode 26, the New Year edition, because it's now 2018. My name is Chuy Sanchez, and with me today is...
Oh, Katie Daniels.
Oh my God, Katie, you fucking
cue.
idiot. How's that not your cue? I have my girlfriend on today. She's fucking terrible. I don't understand why I decided to have her on this podcast.
I thought you were going to say
I'll tell you why I decided to have you on this podcast. I tried doing it by myself 10 times. And the 9th time, I was just saying, you know what? I was like, this is the last podcast I'm ever doing. I'm retiring from podcasts. I don't like doing this anymore. I don't know how Mark Maron does it by himself because it drives you fucking crazy. And then I was
Where's
like...
Tiki Mike
Tiki
at?
Mike is working tonight. And he couldn't get off because he's a fucking idiot and he works nights. Like a fucking diabetic. So that's a...
What'd you say earlier? You called it his Mickey Mouse job?
Yeah, but I don't want to offend other people who work there because other people who work there... well, you know what? Everybody else who works there probably doesn't work the door like that Mickey Mouse motherfucker. He probably has the most Mickey Mouse job there, unless you also work the door with him, in which case, he's just an idiot. So, welcome to the Maximum Chillage Podcast. It's, like I said, it's the new year. And with the new year came some new laws that I want to talk about. There's some pretty cool ones in California and some pretty weird ones that are going away in Oregon that I want to dive into. Another thing that happened is... as always, because we live in the United States of America, they're adding some new menu items to some very beloved restaurants, and there's some interesting ones, and I want to get in on that. So that's it this week. We're gonna talk about some fast food and some weird laws. That's it. There's not much more. Katie, how are you working on that third glass of wine though?
It's going down easy. It's very delicious.
She's on her third glass of wine and some anxiety medicine, so if she says some dumb stuff, blame it on that.
I might not remember this in the morning.
Oh.
And I'm not really that tipsy. I'm trying to be tipsy, but that whole mixture of stuff could result in some quick tipsiness.
I mean, that can result in some death too. But so let's.
Oh, and can I just say really quick
yes.
that I'm not abusing anxiety medicine. I'm taking it for medicinal reasons.
So that might make it seem like you are abusing it, but she really does have anxiety, everybody.
Yeah, and I had some really stressful things go on at work today, and trying to deal with it.
So it's the new year. So what did we do for New Year's, Katie?
What did we do for New Year's? Well, New Year's Eve, we went to my mom's house. She had a bonfire, and my family and friends came over, that whole thing.
I had a bonfire. That's what 28 looks like, everybody. If you're younger than 28, if you're like 21 listening to this podcast, that's what you have to look forward to. Going to a fucking bonfire on New Year's Eve, because there's not much more.
With middle-aged people.
Yeah, with middle-aged people, with old family. There's not much more going for you when you're 28. You're just sitting there, drinking your drinks and talking to old people and then making... take my wife please jokes, because that's all old people seem to do at bonfires. Maybe just with Katie's family, but they were all just telling me, they're like, oh, Chewy, how old are you? 28. You married? You planning on getting married? I was like, I don't know. They're like, don't. It's a trap. And their wives are all inside having a good time. They're just outside in the fire. So it was divided by men being by the fire and women inside just talking shit. And Katie wanted me to be inside. She's like, come inside with me. I'm like, no, I don't want to go inside. I don't want to just talk. I don't want to sit there talking shit. I'd rather sit there talking shit on marriage than go inside and talk shit on just like, I don't even know. Real life things.
Because the men are joking. The men are just making jokes. But we're actually really talking shit in there.
The men are just like, why the fuck am I out of my house right now? It's just a regular night. Why do I have to be out here talking about my job that I hate and my wife that I regret marrying?
They don't really regret marrying them. They're just joking.
I don't know, Katie. I've heard that.
That's how men, joke around with each other.
I don't know.
But,
some serious shit. They're saying some serious shit.
You go on the inside, and there's some real serious shit talking going on.
I don't know. But that's what I did for New Year's Eve. I just I talked a bunch of shit, basically, and played Cards Against Humanity. I've never played that game before. And I
refused to.
I was kind of against it. I don't really like games. But I played the game. I still think it's dumb, but it was better than sitting there talking shit. If you haven't played Cards Against Humanity, it's just like a bunch of outlandish cards that you try to put. Everybody tries to put together the funniest story, basically, or the funniest scenario, and whoever puts together the funniest scenarios at the end collects cards, and you win. And actually,
and I won.
It could be kind of funny, but I don't know. But you like it, so I played it with you.
Yeah, no, I think it's fun. I mean, I'm not a game person whatsoever. My family really can't play games because we start fighting with each other. But that's a game in the past couple of years that my siblings and some of my cousins have started playing.
So
I think it's fun.
So we actually didn't even stay there till midnight.
No, we didn't. That's what happens when you're 28 years old.
We all went home around was it like 10:30?
10:30, yeah.
Yeah, we went home around 10:30. I drove home, and for me, New Year's, I always spend it with my family, like my immediate family. I just stay home and eat cheese boards, and like when I say cheese boards, I mean just like cheese from Walmart and like a shrimp cocktail from Walmart, and watch TV. That's what I really like doing on New Year's. I really like watching the New Year's Eve specials. I like watching the ball drop. Like, that's my shit. I really like that. So this year, if you'll remember, Kathy Griffin was actually fired from CNN for doing a really stupid publicity stunt where she showed a replica of Donald Trump's head as if he had been decapitated with some fake blood and some whatever she said, not my president, whatever, what have you. She ends up getting fired from CNN. The only thing that she does at CNN is New Year's Eve with Anderson Cooper, which isn't the best New Year's Eve, but I mean, it's better than watching Ryan Seacrest to me.
I can't stand Kathy Griffin. I literally cannot stand her.
Honestly, I didn't really have an opinion about her until...
Have you seen her on Seinfeld?
I don't like Seinfeld, period. I mean, Seinfeld's fucking overrated.
I always hated Kathy Griffin, and then I finally saw the Seinfeld episodes with Kathy Griffin, and Seinfeld hates Kathy Griffin. And I don't know, it just really validated my feelings towards her.
I don't know, whatever.
And it's honestly beyond me that anyone even likes her, that your mom and you guys like her.
Well, I just like having a good time on New Year's Eve, and what proves that she has value is this year, Anderson Cooper was actually joined by Andy Cohen, the guy who does Real Housewives, like the reunion shows. If you're not familiar with reunion shows, almost every reality...
produce all the housewives?
He might, to be honest with you. I have no idea. Which would make sense because they're fucking horseshit shows, and he's a horseshit man.
He's not just like a host. He's like big shot. He's like a producer.
Okay, so this guy, Andy Cohen, who he tries to be really, really funny, almost to the point of just being annoying, is on the New Year's Eve special with Anderson Cooper, and it just wasn't working. Like, Titi and Mike and I have chemistry. Katie and I have chemistry outside of the podcast, because on this podcast we have no chemistry whatsoever.
When I get on the podcast, it completely dies.
We have romantic chemistry, but on the podcast we were just
romantic chemistry. We have like old people, 75-year-old old people chemistry.
I would say that I'm
back and forth.
I'm Anderson Cooper. And you're Andy Cohen, because I am just annoyed with you half the time you're on this thing. So that's basically what happened. That's basically what happened was Anderson Cooper was just annoyed with Andy Cohen, and it was just ugly. It's just like this weird vibe, and it really did make me appreciate the bond that TT Mike and I have on this podcast. It was like, these guys are like millionaires doing this, and we make 70 cents every 10 episodes, and we're pretty good. We're doing okay.
So what, you think that you guys should be hosting the CNN New Year's thing next year?
Honestly, if you are a fan of the Maximum Chillage podcast, I think you would agree that Chuy Sanchez and TT Mike would have a much better New Year's Eve special than any of those people.
Honestly, 100% you would.
Yeah.
100%. You should talk about the parade.
So the day after the Rose Bowl, if you're not familiar with the Rose Bowl parade, it's a parade that happens on New Year's Day. And Katie actually has Amazon Prime, which allows you to watch videos on Amazon Prime. And
shout out to Chuy's parents.
My parents bought her Amazon Fire Stick because she's a jit who doesn't have any cable in her house. She just bums cable passwords and Netflix passwords.
That's a very millennial thing to do.
And she has
I'm sure 75% of your listeners don't have cable, if not more.
She has over-the-air TV, so my parents just felt really bad for her. They're like, we just gotta buy her Amazon Fire Stick. So that kid hooks up her cheap Dell computer to her.
It's an HP, and it is not cheap.
Her cheap plastic
it's not a Mac.
HP computer to her TV, and that's how she watches television. So they bought her a Fire Stick, which she already has Prime because she bums that from her sister who actually pays for the Prime. But on Amazon Prime, getting back to the original story, on Amazon Prime, on New Year's Day, it was Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon, if you will remember them from SNL as the cheerleaders from when I was a kid, that they were like cheerleaders, pep rally cheerleaders on SNL. They were absolutely killing it with their commentary
of
the Rose Bowl parade.
10 minutes to even figure out that was Will Ferrell.
That's true, because they were doing it incognito. They were playing characters. It wasn't Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon. It was I forget what he was going by, and I forget what she was going by, but they were going the undercover. Like, they were obviously themselves, but they weren't saying I'm Will Ferrell and I'm Molly Shannon. They were characters that were super freaking hilarious. And I think that they should be hosting New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Thanksgiving Day. They should honestly host everything. It's Tish and something else.
Yeah.
But it was honestly the best. Like, if you have time right now, YouTube, Will Ferrell.
Or go to your Amazon Prime. It's still on there.
I mean, yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, if you're bumming your sister's Amazon Prime account, you can definitely check that out. Another thing that happened on New Year's, which I thought was really weird that I want to talk about, is the fact that at midnight, people start shooting guns. And I'm not sure. That's always happened my whole life. I'm just used to it. That's what.
And I grew up in the country and then moved to Davis. And I really have never experienced that. Like, yeah, you hear gunshots in the country. That's a normal thing. But there's not that many people around, so there's not that many gunshots. Davis, there's things like this don't happen. Living in downtown Merced, I mean...
Oh, wait, that didn't happen in Davis?
No, it didn't happen in Davis.
Oh.
No, you know what? Actually, I don't know, because I don't know if I ever spent New Year's in Davis.
Well, you've been all over the state. Did it happen in Southern California when you were living?
I didn't. I think I always spent my New Year's here.
Okay. So
yeah, I came here for New Year's.
So this is the first time you've ever experienced that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I spent a New Year's in Merced, but it was like on another side of Merced, and it didn't seem as crazy, like as many gunshots and fireworks.
Okay, so every year, as far as I can remember, and if you're listening, leave a comment on our Twitter or our Instagram or on our YouTube video here if you hear gunshots on New Year's Eve, because that's just a regular thing for me. I've always heard it my whole life, and I just wanted to bring it up because I wanted to ask the question, do you hear gunshots on New Year's Eve? There's a lot of fireworks, but I don't think those are unordinary. I think fireworks are ordinary, but gunshots, those kind of like, those are weird because I'm always scared on New Year's Eve because what goes up must come down. Yeah. And I've never ever seen a report of somebody getting shot in the head, but it has to happen. I'm sure it happens.
Yeah, I'm sure you could Google it right now. There's probably a ton of instances.
If you can be so kind to do that on your off time when you're not talking on this podcast, look up the murder statistics or homicide statistics of...
It'd probably be like manslaughter.
Manslaughter, yeah, it would be, yeah, because it'd be involuntary manslaughter probably. But yeah, so I thought that was weird. TT Mike actually posted a Snapchat outside of wherever he was. It was just dark, and it sounded like there was 10 times as many gunshots as where I was. So, again, I just wanted to bring that up. I wanted to ask the question, do you hear it? Does anybody know how that started or why it happens? Is it just plain stupidity? It probably is. But
it's how you celebrate the new year.
Oh, yeah.
Shoot off your gun.
Just shoot off your gun.
Year of the man.
Yeah, year of the man. I told Katie that this 2018 is the year of the man.
He tried to get me to make him breakfast in the morning, which I often do make him breakfast. But he like literally was sitting on the couch not doing shit. And I was like, get your ass up. I'm not doing all this by myself.
You're the man.
No.
All right. So with 2018, there are some new laws, and one of them is huge. Weed is now legal in California. That's right. Weed, marijuana, is now legal in California. One of the most high states, I would say, and one of the last of the high states to become legal, because Colorado and Oregon and Washington were all before us. But finally, in 2018, marijuana has become legal. And how do you feel about that, Katie? Both of us don't partake in marijuana, but we know people who do. How do you feel about it?
I feel like it was inevitable. Like, I feel like it's a good thing. I don't think people should be charged with crimes for smoking or selling marijuana. Yeah, so I mean, I'm good with it.
So I have a little article right here. The Californian is what it is. It's California's Golden State of Cannabis website, and they kind of break it down for those of you who really want to know what your rights are and what the law all encompasses. Let's get into it. So the question here is, what changes January 1st when it comes to cannabis in California? So as of 6 a.m. January 1st, California will become the sixth state to allow licensed shops to sell marijuana to anyone with an ID showing that they're 21 or over. Just like buying alcohol in the bar or a liquor store, this means that doctors' recommendations for medical marijuana will no longer be required to make your purchase in the shops.
Though, if you do have your marijuana card, your medical marijuana card, you don't have to pay the taxes.
Very true, and
so that's an incentive.
It's very high. It's a very high tax on marijuana, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I would honestly, the people that have their cards, I would renew that card if I was them.
So January 1st is also the day that new state regulations and temporary licenses kick in for every type of marijuana business. So I was actually watching the Today Show today, and they were saying that there's a city in California where it was just absolutely impoverished. Nobody wanted to live there. It's in the California desert, and you could buy land for, I believe it was.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this.
It was like $60,000 an acre. Mm-hmm. And after this,
they're trying to be a resort, right?
They're not trying to be a resort. They're actually just a town where they grow a lot of it. Where they're gonna. It's like an industry town where they're gonna grow a lot of this weed. You can buy land now for $1 million an acre. So from $60,000 an acre to $1 million an acre. That's wild. So the revenue that this will like bring in will be crazy. But they did heed a warning. It's not like everybody can just go out if you have money right now. Like, I know your mom, I hate to put her on blast. I don't know if she wants me to say this, but she wants to have a grow, a legal one, because it's legal. But the failure rate of new growers is over 70%. So 70% of people who are going to go into the industry will fail. And that's just shown from history of the people who did it in Oregon and Washington. Because it was like, it's a new form of a gold rush is what it is. It's like the new gold rush.
Expensive. Like the gold rush, all you had to do is get your ass over to California and have a pan and you could find gold. But with this, you have to have money. Like my mom, yeah, she has the land, but she doesn't have money to put up the barns and the lights and, you know, the security, the fencing. That's expensive.
Definitely.
I mean,
it's a big expense.
Yeah.
So here's the next question. So will people be smoking weed on the streets? And the answer is not legally. State law says no one can consume marijuana in public, even in areas where it's legal to smoke cigarettes. This means no smoking on the streets, in bars, and parks. Anyone caught smoking weed in public can face fines from $100 to $250.
Which people already do it all the time.
Yeah, people can already smoke cannabis in their homes, private and on private property, and a small number of cities' plans will allow lounges after January 1st. So lounges will be a thing in probably major cities, I would imagine. And I would imagine those are going to roll out very slowly.
How many people do you think are really going to get fined for smoking marijuana on the street?
I mean, it depends on if the crop needs to... If
they want a reason.
If they want to be an asshole, yeah. So if the crop
because I feel like everyone does it already. I smell weed all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been smelling weed in my city and my towns since I was a kid. Yeah. I mean, when I went to junior college, kids would just pop the doors open of their cars and smoke in their car very openly. So
yeah, no, people all the time at the coffee shop I go to, which I won't name because I don't want cops, staking it out. On the patio, they're always smoking weed out there.
So the next question that's on here is, where will I be able to buy marijuana on January 1st? Will current medical marijuana dispensaries automatically become open to everyone? Answer: medical dispensaries won't necessarily make the switch, at least not on January 1st. Retailers still need a separate license to sell marijuana for recreational use. Cities will first say on issuing those licenses in most cities in California. So, so the short answer is no.
I think Merced, they won't get their first one till like the end of January or February.
And I honestly haven't heard of one popping up anywhere. It's not like there's big news. It's not like on January 1st, hundreds of dispensaries were opening. I haven't even heard of one opening in my city. I'm sure this is, again, it's going to trickle down from all the big cities and then eventually make their way into the smaller cities. And I'm honestly not too sure that it's going to ever take off. I really don't see it taking off. I see this being
take off in what way? Like as much as alcohol?
As much as alcohol, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think so either because one of the reasons I don't smoke, like I like to be intoxicated. I enjoy being intoxicated, but I just feel like smoking hurts my lungs. Like I just think it's kind of gross. It's bad for your teeth.
I just don't want to look like a loser.
Yeah, no,
there's a heavy connotation there's a stigma, yeah. Not that you're a loser if you smoked. My best friends smoked, and I don't think anything of them.
A lot of people I know with PhDs smoke.
I watch Viceland, and a lot of my heroes like Action Bronson smoked marijuana. I don't think any less of them, but I just personally, I feel as if I don't have enough going for me that it would be. Like if I had a house and a Ferrari and I had my PhD and I was just doing good, it's like, oh yeah, he's doing good. But it's like, oh no, that guy does a weekly podcast with his best friend in his house.
So when I have all that stuff, you'll be cool with me smoking?
I don't think you would.
I know, I don't think I would either. Again, it's not even just the stigma. It's like it kind of just grosses me out.
What will I need to buy marijuana? The question says. If you're 21 or older, you'll only need a valid ID to buy up to 1 ounce of marijuana from a licensed shop. Outside, out-of-state licenses are okay. So all you need to be is 21. So it's just like buying booze. Here's the next question. What should I expect from my visit to the marijuana store? And with so many products on the shelves, how will I know what to buy? So it says the days of choosing between a joint or a bong in a black lit head shop is long over. Many dispensaries today look like modern cafes or Apple stores with dozens of different products displayed in an array of glass cases and artfully displayed shelves. You can always ask the shop's bartenders for recommendations, but there's no guarantee what experience or training your bartender might have. Oh, it says bud tender, my bad. Your bud tender might have. So it's wise to educate yourself on available strains and methods before you go shopping. So there's a beginner's guide to shopping for cannabis right here. I would say, honestly, just go talk to your friend who just dropped out of life.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know. If there's nothing more that they know, it's about marijuana. Like if they expanded their learning to learning more about other things other than that, I'm sure they'd be very capable of learning how to do brain surgery. But these people like know their shit. They know the CBD oil and the THC and how much is in it and how long it stays in your blood and all this bullshit.
Yeah, the best way to smoke it, the best way to ingest it, how to make the butter.
So can I have marijuana in my car while I'm driving? The rules are pretty much the same as alcohol. You can't consume marijuana while you're driving, and you can't have an open container that's accessible to you while you're driving. And of course, you cannot be under the influence of marijuana while you're behind the wheel. Though how that'll be tested for is another question, because there's a lot of questions based on that. And so there's that. Here's another one. What are the rules about growing marijuana at home? Since November 9th, 2016, every Californian 21 and older has been allowed up to 6 marijuana plants per household, so long as those plants are kept out of public view. local governments do not put some regulations on home grows, though many have banned outdoor gardens completely, while others require pricey permits to grow plants indoors. Can your job still test you for marijuana? Yes, they still can. Prop 64 clearly states that employers can test workers for marijuana and choose not to hire workers or fire existing workers for any positive testing. And some employers, such as federal agencies and transportation workers, are required to test for cannabis. And here's the last one I'm going to talk about, and we're going to move on to the next subject. Is marijuana still federally illegal?
Yeah.
It is indeed. And
and they're trying to crack down on it right now.
Yeah, and Attorney General Jeff Sessions today has fucking cracked the whip on that guy. But there's that right there. So, you have any other thoughts on that, Katie?
My thought is, I have not smoked weed too many times in my life. A handful, I could probably count it on one hand. But I would really go with the vaporizers because supposedly they're less harmful to your lungs.
So, another thing that I want to talk about is actually, I'm going to try to... Oh, hold on. Hold here. Hold on. 1 second.
Hello.
Tiki Mike, welcome to the podcast. You're on with my girlfriend, Katie.
Oh, hello, Tiki Mike.
Hello.
So, is Mike calling in?
I called Mike in because he asked if we're still doing it tomorrow. And I actually just decided to just three-way call it. Not that you'll ever get a three-way for reals, Mike. Don't get any ideas.
You never know.
So, Mike, welcome to the podcast. We're 27 minutes in, and we're talking about marijuana right now and how it became legal in California on January 1st. We pretty much went over everything about where you can buy it, if it's legal to smoke in your car. We pretty much went over everything. Do you have any thoughts on the legality of it now?
I think Fresno totally missed out on a lot of tax revenue by putting a ban on it.
I did not know that. So there's a ban in Fresno.
Yeah, the county does not currently allow any recreational sales of it. You still need a medicinal card in Fresno County to not that you can't buy it and the cop can't take it from you on a state level, but there's no place to physically buy it. You have to go to another county that sells it recreationally, and you can own it here, and you can still grow your 6 plants or whatever, or carry the ounce that they allow. But Fresno County currently only has 2 dispensaries right outside of Fresno County. There's one in Madera County and one in Goshen, so Tulare County, and those are medicinal places. And actually, you know what? Fresno County doesn't even have medicinal places anymore. They just have green doctors that allow you to, go in there and say, oh, I have, anxiety, or oh, I have, insomnia, and then they give you your medicinal card. Currently there isn't even a medical dispensary in Fresno right now.
No, I was talking about that.
Fresno's missing out on tax revenue for something that is pretty harmless, and you can
make a lot of money.
Yeah, eventually that'll come. I'm sure, but So that's cool. So you guys talked about that.
Pretty much that, and then our New Year's, which I actually wanted to ask you a question. We're going to go back to the question because I wanted to talk about a snap that you snapped on New Year's Eve of the gunshots. Apparently, Katie has never heard of this gunshot thing because she's from the country, and then
I've heard of it. I just never heard it being so pervasive. They always shoot guns off.
I would imagine in the country, people would shoot off their guns on New Year's Eve.
No, they definitely do, but just think there's only so many houses in a large amount of space, where in town you have a bunch of houses compacted. So in the country, there's a few gunshots because only a few people are even out there.
She had never heard so many gunshots because she now lives in downtown Merced, and it was a shit ton of gunshots, and she wasn't really accustomed to the volume of them. And I just wanted to ask you, do you know if it's just Central California where this happens, or is it in all major cities, or is it just California?
No,
do you know?
No, it's in all major cities. Yeah, I mean, I see, I saw memes about it. You know, I mean, that's obviously not coming from Fresno. Like, I mean, I'm talking about random people that I don't even follow. Like, I saw memes on, like, you know, pages that are kind of like national pages. So, like, I mean, when I say national pages, meaning, like, they're
just like big meme pages
just from everywhere. Yeah, big meme pages that had things about shooting. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not just a Central California thing, or just, you know, the cities. It's probably definitely like everywhere, or at least anywhere that has kind of an urban population. I'm sure.
How did you feel? How do you feel about them?
Anywhere with gun culture, probably.
Yeah.
Do you hate the gunshots, or are you just impartial to them? I've grown accustomed to them. I kind of like them.
Well, I grew up with them in my neighborhood. I don't remember them ever being near my grandmother's neighborhood, but, you know, I was actually at my grandma's house this New Year's Eve, and yeah, when I left, you know, I was just leaving right after midnight, and yeah, gunshots for like the next 15, 20 minutes, and a lot of fireworks too. But yeah, I never remember it being at that part of the neighborhood. I've had a cousin have a bullet hole in their trunk after New Year's Eve.
That's what we were wondering. So, yeah. We were wondering, because what goes up must come down, obviously physics. I was wondering how many people actually get hurt on New Year's Eve from those, because that's a shit ton of bullets.
People need to go and get blanks. Like,
they don't do that.
There's a solution to this.
Well, I mean, it doesn't come down as hard on the way back down, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely a chance that it could, you know, still cause damage. But yeah.
So, what did you do with your?
I want to say I was watching the news, and then Fresno County chief was on there and was talking about it. I don't think there has been any deaths related to New Year's Eve gunshots, at least in recent years. I remember them talking about this new technology that they have posted everywhere in the city, where it can
triangulate your.
Yeah, it could triangulate where the shots are coming from. Which is actually kind of scary, you know, New World shit, you know, because that's like, you know, they can track where the drive-bys are, and they can track, like, pretty much anything. I mean, it's getting closer to that possibility.
I feel like that's definitely a possibility, but with so many gunshots going off, I'm sure that throws off all of their shit, and it doesn't probably work on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I mean, along with all the fireworks, it's gunshots or fireworks. You don't really know on New Year's Eve. But what did you do for New Year's Eve? You said you're at your grandma's. Were you just chilling with family, or you're just chilling with your grandma?
Or? Just me and my grandma, dude. You know.
That's what we were talking about. You don't really do much when you get older. There's not a lot you want to do. I remember one year you stole me a shirt from a bar.
Oh yeah. Those, you know, yeah. I think I'm past the bar and Sanger parties stage. I mean. People have in recent years gotten shot after, you know, New Year's at Sanger parties. So, you know, I'm done with going to things. I think, or me in general, I think I'm becoming less and less celebratory.
What is that? What is that beeping?
You know, I unbuckled my seatbelt. I didn't think that would actually be picking up. You know, I'm driving home. Well, actually,
you're driving home and you unbuckled your seatbelt? That's not safe.
Well, you know, I was getting close to my house, but then I thought, no, I'll make a U-turn, and I had already unbuckled my seatbelt because I was like, oh wait, you know what? I'm just right near. I mean, I'm by Chuy's house. I could probably just walk in.
I don't do that.
Oh no. Okay, then I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's not a pretty sight in here right now. I'm not ready not ready for guests. I'm ready for I'm ready for this phone.
Yeah.
I'm actually really liking these phone interviews. We really need to start doing a lot more of these. Katie actually sounds really good because she has her headphones in. I don't think you could tell that she wasn't here. If I wouldn't have said joining us via phone.
No, I'm gonna say her audio quality on my end is coming in way clearer than you.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, at least for me on this phone, it sounds like a direct call to her, not so much a direct call to you.
Okay. She sounds really good. You don't sound that bad. You don't sound as bad as NPR where they're Republicans.
Hey, Apple headphones, man, go a long way.
Yeah, so it sounds really good. Mike, it's a new year, and we were talking about laws. Yeah. Another new law that went into effect is that Oregon actually stopped the law mandating that people had to pay pump gas for them. So Oregon and New Jersey are still the only two states that ban self-service of gas stations. But with the new law that went into effect January 1st, customers can now pump their own gas in Oregon, and people are losing their shit. This comes from...
Have you seen pictures of it?
No, but here's a post from Facebook by Tina Good. It says, "Not a good idea. There's lots of reasons to have attendants help you. Other people need jobs too. Many people are not capable of knowing how to pump gas and the hazards of not doing it correctly. Besides, I don't want to go to work smelling like gas and have my hands or clothes smelling like gas. Very bad idea." Like, that's a legit concern from a lady who's never pumped her own gas.
Look at pictures. There's pictures. There's pictures of a girl squirting gas all over her car. Pictures of somebody with the gas pump upside down. Pictures of people, they don't know which side their gas tank is on, and so they're like going on the wrong side and have everybody stretching the cord. Like they really don't know what they're doing.
Hey, as ridiculous as that all sounds, this is completely legitimate. I think that's a legit statement. I mean, where I work, there's of course a gas station. Yeah. And the things that I hear from the gas attendants is like, "Are you fucking serious? People are that dumb?" Like,
they're probably from Oregon, dude.
Huh?
They're probably from Oregon. The people trying to do that.
Maybe. No.
So it happens in California too.
There's this repeat customer that I don't know what she does. I think she is holding on to the gas, and she's, I think, supposed to be older. I haven't actually seen her, but she's, pumping gas, and she pulls out the nozzle as she's still holding it, and she has gotten gas all over herself. Like, I saw these managers rushing out there because they had to get ice and stuff to, squirt out her eyes. It got all over her face, all over her clothes.
This
and
happens.
I just hear radio chatter. Do we have a large shirt? Can you bring out pants size? Blah blah blah. They had to give her like new clothes and everything because she just like pulls it out, and the stream of gas is still going, and it's all over her face, and they're just like trying to flush it out of her eyes, and and then get her clothes. I mean, I guess she changed in the car out there. I don't know. But yeah, it's like insane, man. People are completely ridiculous when it comes to, everyday shit that we take for granted as like, oh, this is just normal part of life. Some people don't know how to do that kind of shit. So, I totally get why there should be maybe an attendant, at least monitoring stuff,
I mean,
maybe available for people that like her. She's elderly. She's not comfortable pumping her own gas.
I mean, I know that you work at a place that has a gas station by it, but in all the years that I've been to gas stations, because I'm one of those people. I know you chastise me all the time, Mike. I put a little bit of gas at a time, and I'm constantly at the gas station, and I've never ever seen somebody having a problem. It's always people just pump it and go.
I've seen people who are trying, like, they also don't understand how the gas pump thing works.
Yeah.
I've seen, like, these people pull up the nozzle, like, above their head, like, as if it's going to pour out a couple more drops. You know how, like, you turn off the water on the hose, and, if you lift up the hose, more water comes out?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like they believe that process is occurring. with this thing. Like, they don't understand that there's like a shut-off valve thing in there when the nozzle's not being pumped. Yeah. And, I see them do that, and then it falls out. And I've seen people, wait, didn't you drive off with the nozzle?
Never.
Or didn't you know somebody?
Yeah, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to name drop, but yeah, I could. Yeah, I'll tell you after.
Seen people do that.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. Well, I think that's just stupid. I think that's part of. They were waiting for January 1st, 2018 to happen a lot sooner because they were high as fuck. So here's another guy, Mike Perrone, from Facebook says, I lived in this state all my life and I refuse, in all caps, to pump my own gas. I had to do it once in California while visiting my brother and I almost died doing it. This is a service only for qualified people to perform. I will literally park at the pump and wait until somebody pumps my gas. I cannot even. That's a real statement.
Have you guys ever pumped gas and gotten gas in Oregon before?
No.
It's a shit show. It takes forever.
I can only imagine.
Someone has to.
And it would be embarrassing for me because I'd be like, "Can I have $2.50 of gas?" It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I was pissed when I was there. I was just like, can I just do it myself? Like, I don't need to wait on this person to come over here and do it for me.
Did they yell at you?
I didn't do it myself. No, I was told by my godmother, do not touch the pumps. They will yell at you. Yeah, if you touch the pumps. But that's how I felt. I was just like fuming, no pun intended. I wanted to pump my own gas because I thought it was ridiculous. I had to wait on somebody.
So that's just one of the other things that happened in 2018. We're going to move on from laws. One of our most beloved restaurants, Taco Bell, have you seen this, Mike, is introducing a new menu item. I know we talked a lot about fast food, but you know what? So be it. Taco Bell is releasing on January 25th for $1. They're going to have nacho fries. So something that you've probably been doing for a long time, Mike. Taco Bell's going to roll it out for you.
Dude. I tell you the truth, I've never had nacho fries.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I know it's the same
at Arsenio's
nachos. I mean, and I've had
super fries,
Irish nachos, which is kind of similar.
Is that with potato tots?
Super fries.
I used to eat nacho fries.
Tots. They were like, I don't know, they were like these. They weren't potato wedges. They were just like these cut potato fry things that were like nachos.
Katie, you were saying you used to eat nacho fries?
In high school.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you've never had cheese
lunch.
With your nachos or cheese with your fries in high school? Like those Sanger fries? Remember those fucking little sliced fried potatoes that they gave us at school?
Wait, what was your question?
You've never had cheese and fries?
I probably have.
How do you feel about Taco Bell rolling this out?
Sure. I feel indifferent to it. I'll probably try it. I mean, it's $1.
I mean, you are known as the nacho cheese man.
I mean, yeah.
So that's not that weird coming out of Taco Bell. Taco Bell rolls out weird shit all the time. Here's another one.
Do they still have cheese fries in high school like today?
I don't know, Katie. I don't go to high school.
Shit? I don't know. Does anybody know? Does Michael know? Michael seems to know a lot of things.
Michael seems to know a lot of things about teeny boppers. Is that what you're saying?
I don't like these suggestions.
Okay, we'll move on. Move on.
All right. So another famous. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you defend yourself.
No, I'm just not. And you know what? I'm not even gonna speak to it. If I speak to it. Like Louis C.K. says, they crucified that guy. Like if Louis C.K. said, if you speak against the allegations, you make it real. So I will not speak to these.
All right. So another famed restaurant from California, another California thing, In-n-OUT. Did you hear that In-n-OUT added a menu item? I know you're a big In-n-OUT guy.
No, that's weird, dude.
For the first time in 15 years, In-n-OUT has added a menu item. The last menu item that they added in In-n-OUT, can you guys guess what it was? I'll let you guess.
I know what it is.
Well, don't say anything then, Katie. Michael?
Okay.
No, I don't know what it was.
Lemonade. That was 15 years ago. They introduced lemonade. Have you ever had the lemonade there? It's actually quite delicious.
The pink lemonade, yeah, it's good.
All right, so there's a new hot menu item at In-n-OUT that goes alongside your double-double. It is hot cocoa. In-n-OUT has rolled out hot cocoa that's going to be available in 8-ounce cups and it will have a permanent spot on the menu, which I felt was really weird. So the 8-ounce cup of hot cocoa will go for $1.65 and come topped with mini marshmallows. The beverage will be available year-round at 362 locations. Mike, your thoughts on the hot cocoa at In-n-OUT?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're in Fresno, so the climate for hot cocoa in the summer is terrible.
This is In-n-OUT. It's mainly in California, which I don't feel most parts of California, maybe the Bay Area where it never gets hot, would reap the benefits from this. So I really don't know. I mean, I think the main one is in, God, I don't remember where the main In-n-OUT is, somewhere in Los Angeles. So Irvine, it's in Irvine, California. So it's not very cold there either. I'm not sure if I understand why they're putting this on the menu. I'm sure
You know what my thought is?
What?
My thought, you say it like you don't really want to know.
No, I really do. Because I'm surprised you have a thought on why they had this. Like you were thinking about, this is why they have this.
I think I explained it to you yesterday.
What?
They're trying to appeal to children because there's not a lot of menu items that appeal to children at In-n-OUT.
That's true. They don't really have like a Happy Meal like kind of thing.
They're trying to get that market.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Did you like In-n-OUT as a kid, Mike?
For some reason, opposed to giving their kids soda, but they're like, oh, hot cocoa, that's not as bad, even though it probably has the same amount of sugar.
Oh,
well, and like kids ask for that. Like my nieces, they love hot cocoa. They would say, let's go to In-n-OUT and get hot cocoa.
Mm-hmm. And what's cool about this is that In-n-OUT is an idea of hot cocoa for free to kids under a certain age on rainy days, which I think is pretty kitschy and pretty cool. I think that's a pretty neat gesture. I would take my kids to In-n-OUT to get free hot cocoa on a rainy day.
And now the parents are each buying a double meal, and there you have your money.
I actually didn't like In-n-OUT till recently. I think Mike introduced me to
Did you turn a page on that?
I did. I actually liked it.
Merced.
I love that place. I don't know why. You know, Miguel was also against In-n-OUT for a while, but now he's an In-n-OUT person too.
I just want to say shout out to Miguel on this podcast because I feel like we bring him up every now and then, but we don't say his name. I want to say congratulations to Miguel for getting his brand new art space in downtown Fresno. It is, right?
It's in downtown.
Shout out to Miguel for the art space, and shout out to that cool ass painting that you bought from him. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh,
Who is that character?
Really like that. That's Willie Wolf. He appeared in Betty Boop cartoons in the 20s or whatever. Check
out our friend Miguel's art page at. Do you know what the art page is? If you can drop it for us.
I want to say it's Miguel Flores 1989.
Check him out on Instagram, Miguel Flores 1989. But yeah, so he turned his leaf on In-n-OUT too.
Yeah, man. I mean, okay, so In-n-OUT was always great for me because, I wasn't eating meat as a kid. So,
dude, when I ate meat, those burgers were the shit. But when I stopped eating meat, I didn't really like the...
I like the grilled cheese. The grilled cheese
it's
has
pretty
everything
good.
That's in the cheeseburger.
The grilled cheese animal style is pretty fucking boss. I think what got me, though, was the price point. I went over there, and I got 2 grilled cheese, 2 fries, and a milkshake, and it was less than...
All for yourself, Chuy?
I could eat all that, yeah, honestly. Now that you mention it, I could probably eat all of that.
No, I'm playing. That was for
it was for both of us. It was less than $12, and you can't that doesn't happen anywhere. That shit doesn't happen anymore unless you're eating at Taco Bell with $1 nacho fries. But
I think it's delicious. I love the grilled cheese, but I didn't like it as a kid, so I really think that the hot chocolate thing is to sell it to kids.
So Mike, we've actually successfully done this for 49 minutes. I'm going to let you guys share your final thoughts on this to kill another 10 minutes. New Year's Eve 2018, how was it for you guys? Go.
I feel like Mike can just have the final thoughts.
Go, Mike. This is all you.
What? Me, right?
Yeah, that's very true.
I think that's good. It's it's a guest spotting right now, so that's pretty cool. I think. Plus, I didn't really do anything for New Year's, so I think yeah, you should go.
Gunshot? No,
I should go?
No, I'm gonna let Mike do it. Everybody really likes Mike.
See, no one likes me.
I don't even know, dude. Like, what am I supposed to say? What is this about? New Year's?
New Year's, gunshots, anything, hanging out with your
Sorry,
grandma.
did I make you uncomfortable, Mike? Did I make you uncomfortable?
Well, you keep doing it. You're like Andy Cohen and fucking Anderson Cooper on CNN. Did you watch that, Mike?
Wait, are you talking? Wait, what did you just reference right now? Reference what I've.
Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen on New Year's Eve on CNN.
No,
it was
I didn't
fucking
see it.
dog shit, is what it was. And we were talking about that earlier. They had no chemistry, and I was saying how much seeing people with no chemistry it makes me appreciate the chemistry that I have with you, because I was like, fuck,
sure.
Mike and I would have killed this at a moment. She throws it all off. She's like butting in and shit.
Okay, you know what? Let me mention something that I was watching on New Year's Eve. I was with my grandma, right? You know, she wanted to watch, the ball go down, whatever. So we put on Dick Clark's special, which is, hosted by Ryan Seacrest.
Honestly, I was really sad when Dick Clark passed, because he was New Year's Eve to me. He was really good.
Well, yeah. Even when he was, a stroke, survivor.
I think the first year he came back, it was kind of like, oh, it'll never happen.
Right.
But he got it back a little bit. Like, he started talking a little faster. And it was actually really, I was actually really enjoying it again until he passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So I kept on flipping it back between Fox's broadcast with Steve Harvey, which was terrible, man.
With
that
his white Lady Gaga suit.
Yes, with his hat and his white coat. No, that guy. I watch The Family Feud in the break room all the time. For some reason, that's the go-to show for us during the weekdays is watching Family Feud on the Game Show Network. And there's like a 3 or 4 hour block of it. So, I see that guy and I see his banter. And for The Family Feud, it works. But that guy was terrible. He started, what song did he start singing? He started trying to sing a song and trying to get the crowd to sing it. But it was something that people weren't familiar with. It's a famous song, but it definitely wasn't a New Year song. And this generation that was mainly featured in the front line of the the little barrier definitely wouldn't be that familiar with the song. And nobody sang along with them. They started like humming it with them, and it was really sad to watch. And then I would go and I would flip on Dick Clark's special, and there would be like Britney Spears song that has the chorus, "Work it, bitch, work it, bitch, work it, bitch," and not saying that there's anything wrong. I mean, I listen to the worst obscene music ever. I just feel like there's a difference on putting it on New Year's Eve, and then there's that other song. It's like, I don't know if they're paying homage to, Notorious B.I.G., but there's that couple that have a song together that go back and forth. I forget who it is. I feel like an old person saying that. But the chorus is "Me and My Bitch." And that was also on Dick Clark's special, was just them saying, "Me and my bitch, me and my bitch."
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just like thinking of all the old people. I'm sitting there with my grandma. She didn't have her hearing aids in at this point of the night. The batteries were dead, so she couldn't hear it completely. And she'd be like, "Oh, I don't know what they're saying," and I'd be like, "Oh, it's okay," and just leaving it at that. I just think it's so weird for older people who grew up as this being their tradition. Like, oh, I'm going to watch Dick Clark's special. And, they get Ryan Seacrest and, they get a bunch of other nameless people that are, trending right now, but won't be anything in, 2 years.
Yeah.
Those were all the side hosts. And, I'm sure, like Ryan Seacrest, he does an okay job, playing that classy character, when he wants. And, but then the music that was being played, it just is contrasting way too much. I just think of all the older people that,
if you think that was
grew
bad
up with it, and they're watching it right now, and they're just like, "What is this?" And then just
honestly, if
turn it off. The old person in me was upset, because I'm secretly have always been an old person.
On CNN, they had Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen, which I already went on a rant about how terrible they were earlier. But that wasn't the only weird thing that was happening. You're talking about them saying "me and my bitch," whatever. The weird thing that was happening on CNN is they kept going live to Denver, Colorado, at a weed, New Year's
on
Eve
the shooting. Yeah.
On the what?
Wait, Denver, Colorado. That was the shooting. Right?
No, they were no. They were just
a weed bus.
It was a weed bus. They were on a bus, and they were smoking weed. And at one point, the host was holding a blunt on CNN. Another time, she had a gas mask bong, and I'm not sure if she had it completely on, but it was borderline. She was definitely what had contact high at this place, and they were making THC infused cocktails. So if you think that's weird, imagine switching it over to CNN to get some more classy coverage, and everybody's high off their ass, and you see, what's the other host on CNN? There's Anderson Cooper, and then Don Lemon. Don Lemon was drunk off his ass. Whenever they would show him, he was drunk off his ass with his co-host. So I think
Baldwin.
I was telling Katie, you and I they should just let us do it. CNN or NBC or Fox, just Chuy and Mike, just two regular, overly. We're not regular size. We're two casual male XXL men.
Husky. I like the term husky.
Yeah, two husky men who are relatable, and you can ring in the new year with some relatable fellas. But okay, so let's do it. Let's jump in to the final thoughts. Mike, New Year's Eve 2018. Final thoughts? Anything?
New Year's Eve 2018. I feel nostalgia for an age that I didn't even grow up in. I hope one day that we could get back to those classic moments, and not using just the artist of this year that's going to be nobody in 5 years. Yeah.
Marijuana being legal in California.
I was Googling. You know what? I was Googling how to get a hold of it in the nearest county. I don't even smoke weed, really. I just, I feel like it's a new age. I think it's healthier than being an alcoholic. I don't mind the idea of partaking, and neither should your grandparents that are probably against it.
Oregon people having to pump their own gas for the first time.
We all come into the new age. This was a thing everywhere. Everybody had to transition to it at one time. I mean, get off of social media crying about it. I mean, sure, there's valid points about it, and there should be somebody, available when needed. But they could just honk the horn if they really, really need it. That's about it.
Tacobell and In-n-OUT expanding their menus.
In-n-OUT. I actually hope that In-n-OUT does not expand too much of their menu. I like the simple menu. I hope that they keep it to a low, honed-in, area. Hot cocoa, I'll allow it, though. Cheese fries, sounds cool. I mean, I'm game. It's $1. I mean,
let's try them on.
You can't lose a lot.
Let's try them on this podcast. Katie, do you have anything that you want to add to the end of this podcast?
Thank you for having me, and thank you for putting up with me. That's all.
It's always a pleasure it's a pleasure having you, but it's actually been a double pleasure having both of you. That's I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that after our three-way too. after our eventual three-way, I'll say it's been a pleasure having both of you.
Wow. Okay.
As always, thank you for tuning in. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram at Maximum Chillage, Twitter at Maximum Chillage. Please subscribe to us on iTunes, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio. And until next time, I'm going to stall this I can't stall this for 30 seconds. I really wish I could, so it could be a full hour. You know what? Stall it for 30 seconds, Mike.
You kind of just did. What?
Well, you got to stall it for 30 seconds because I really want this to be an hour. Actually, shout out to Jeanette Villalobos because she actually won our 2 tattoos that we had to give out now because she actually replied with the 2 hashtags. So a
Do
turtle
we have
coat,
to- do we have to pay for two?
a turtle coat, and a Yoda are coming her way. Until next time, goodbye.